Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love, and this week I would like to talk about approaching women online. And I have a short email from someone who said, okay, so if pickup lines are bad, just introducing yourself is boring, and writing your entire bio doesn't get results, what does? I know you've said giving a girl a compliment is beta, so I literally don't know what to say to a woman online to get a response. I've noticed that humor doesn't really work with women online. So, I get a lot of these types of emails and requests where guys don't know how to approach women, or they say, just give me a line, give me that great line that's going to get me in, that's going to get the girl to respond. And the problem is that there isn't just one line that's always going to get a response. And even if there was, and even if I give you a customized line to give to someone, and then she answers, now what? If you don't know, if you don't understand the principles of dating women, of dynamics in dating, what are you going to say now? So then you ask me for another line. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a second line to give to women. Now what? She answers again. Okay, now what? So am I going to just keep giving you lines and then you go out on a date? Am I going to be in your ear telling you what to do? So just having an opening line is not going to work if you don't know then how to take it from there, because you're getting your foot in the door, but if you're not prepared afterwards, you're going to blow it. This one guy recently online, he wrote to me and he said something that made me respond. It was funny. He said, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Well, I guess it's you. So that made me laugh, and I said, LOL, you're funny. However, in his response to that, he blew it. Because all he said was, really? Thanks. And that was it. He had his foot in the door, and he didn't take advantage, and so he had the door closed on his foot. And that's what's going to happen if all you have is an opening line, and after that, you got nothing else. It's almost like, let's say you're an actor or a singer or some type of artist in that field, and you're really not that good. However, you have a contact who can get you a meeting with someone that can really change your career. And so you got your foot in the door. So you have this meeting, and they see your work, and they see what you have, and they're like, oh, yeah, sorry, it's not going to work. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter if you have an opening line. It doesn't matter if you have a contact. If there's nothing behind there, then it's not going to work. And the fact that he said that women don't respond well to humor, I disagree. So either what you're writing isn't that funny, I don't know, or they're not interested, and so even if it is funny, they're not going to respond, or they don't have a sense of humor, which you wouldn't want to date them anyways. But I disagree that they don't respond to humor. So what does, or what do women respond to? Situational comments. That's why I can't give you a line. You have to use the situation. Whether you are in person or online, you have to look at their profile and think of something that you can say that's specific to them. And so that's why I can't just give you a line. And what often works, though, is something called an open loop, which I won't get into now because that requires a whole podcast in itself. But that's where you kind of leave things hanging so that they're curious. You know, kind of like when you're talking with someone and you say, you know what? And they go, what? And you go, oh, no, forget it. And then aren't you curious? And you're always like, no, what were you going to say? What were you going to say? You always want to ask, right? That always gets your curiosity. So it's the same thing. So you kind of have to be a little mysterious and make kind of a half statement, but not a full statement, so that they're curious. It's like, what does that mean? Something like, that's not the type of profile I expected from someone, blah, 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 and then you refer to who they are. So now they're curious. It's like, what does he mean? It's not the type of profile he expected. Or, oh, that's interesting. I never thought that, la, 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 la. You know what I mean? You need to leave it open so that they're wondering what you're talking about. But as I said, I need to discuss it in another podcast because open loops is a whole conversation in itself. But other than that, it's all about who you are and what you bring to the table and about being confident. And you can't just build that up in one day or with one text that you send. It has to be about who you are and working on yourself daily. And then you won't need a line. You won't have to ask me, what can I say to women? Because you'll be confident enough that you'll look at the situation, you'll look at the profile and think of something to say where they will want to answer. And if they don't answer, even if it's a great line, it means they're not interested. Bottom line. Because if they are super interested, you could practically send a blank email and a woman would respond if she was very, very interested. And she'd say, you sent me an email, but it was blank. Right? But how often does that happen, that a woman is so interested that you send her a blank email and she's going to respond? Not very often. So you do definitely have to write something. But I can tell you there is an app out there. I'll give you a little bit of help. And it's called Textpert, Textpert. And you can get help from the community in there as to what you should write. But use it sparingly. It should just be if you're really stuck, but don't rely on it because, again, you have to come up with things yourself. And by following me and other dating experts and learning about the principles and dynamics of dating, then you'll soon get the hang of it and you won't just ask for an opening line. Okay. So if you have any questions or comments about this, or if you are interested in private coaching with me, you can contact me at my website, theartoflove.net, and be sure to use the contact form on that website. Otherwise, I may not receive your email. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I would really appreciate it if you would read and rate. I was trying to say, that's a new word, read. Read and rate the podcast. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.